Hey guys, Mr. Yisley here. So we are on to lesson number 11 in chapter 5. And lesson number 11 is all about multiplying monomials and other polynomials. Now the way we do this is really similar to what we've done in the past. It's a form of distribution. And so when we're looking at it, we are going to multiply. So we're going to be distributing the single term, right? That single term that's in front of the parentheses to each term, right? Inside the parentheses. So we're going to be using that rainbow method that we've talked about before, right? And then the final part, we always want to make sure that we're writing in descending exponent order. So let's take a look at some examples and we'll walk through this. So example A says 4x squared times 3x plus 5. So again, we're going to be taking this single term that is out front right here, and we're going to be multiplying it times each term inside. So we're going to multiply 4x squared times 3x, and that'll be the first thing we do. Now remember, when we do that, we multiply the number times the number, so the coefficient times the coefficient, so 4 times 3, which is 12. Then we multiply the x squared times the x. Now remember, with this, we learned about this earlier in the chapter where we had those rules of exponents. And when we are multiplying terms with the same base, so the same variable, remember that we add the exponents, all right? So we've got a 2 exponent here for x, and we've got a 1 exponent on this one that's not showing. So we are going to add that 2 plus 1, right? We're going to add that, and we should end up with 3. So we should end up with 4 times 3 is 12, and x squared times x is x to the third. So again, that's that rule that we learned about, the product of powers rule, which says if we have the same base, we add the exponents when we are multiplying them. So again, x squared has an exponent of 2, x had an exponent of 1, and 2 plus 1 is 3. Then after we've done the first term, we would then do the second term, so 4x squared times positive 5. So we do the numbers, 4 times 5, and that is positive 20. And then this x squared doesn't have any x's to combine with here, so we just bring it on down, and we end up with 20x squared. Now the last step that we make sure that we do is we make sure that it's in descending exponent order. So 12x to the third, that has a degree of 3. Right? 20x squared has a degree of 2, so that is in descending exponent order. All right, so let's take a look at example B here. So again, we're going to take this first term of negative 8m to the third, and we're going to multiply each term inside the parentheses. So negative 8m to the third times positive 4m to the third. So start with the coefficients. Negative 8 times positive 4 is negative 32. Then we're going to multiply the variables because they have the same base. This means m to the third times m to the third. And remember, that rule says we add these exponents. So this becomes m to the sixth. Then we're going to do it for the next one. So negative 8m to the third times positive 3m squared. So negative 8 times positive 3 is negative 24. M to the third times m squared, add the exponents. So this is m, and 3 plus 2 is 5. Then we're going to do it for the next term. So negative 8m to the third times positive 2m. So negative 8 times positive 2 is negative 16. And then I know I'm going to have an m. I've got m to the third times m, remembering this has an exponent of 1, so add those exponents, so that is m to the fourth. And then last term, negative 8m to the third times negative 1. Right. Well, negative 8 times negative 1 is positive 8. And then the m to the thirds are the only ones, so I'm going to bring those down. All right, well, there's 2 quick examples for you. I'd encourage you to try example C on your own, then check your answer with mine. So example C, we've got 2x to the fourth times the polynomial of 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. So again, we're going to take our first term outside the parentheses and multiply each term inside the parentheses. So we'll start with the first one. 2 times 3 is 6. And then x to the fourth times x squared. Reminder, x to the fourth times x squared, same base, so add the exponents. So that becomes x to the sixth. Then on to the second term. So 2x to the fourth times positive 2x. Right? 2 times 2 is positive 4. And x to the fourth times x, 4 plus 1 is 5. So 4x to the fifth. And then last term, 2x to the fourth times negative 5. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. And the only x's are the x to the fourth on the original part, so bring those down. Again, we want to make sure we are in descending exponent order. 6x to the sixth, 4x to the fifth, negative 10x to the fourth. That's descending exponent order, so that is correct. All right, well, I'd encourage you to try example D on your own and then check your answer with mine. So again, reminder, we're going to take the term outside the parentheses and we're going to multiply every term individually on the inside. So we'll start with the first ones. So negative 4y squared times positive 3y to the third. Negative 4 times positive 3 is negative 12. Y squared times y to the third, that's 2 plus 3, so y to the fifth. Then the next term, negative 4y squared times positive 2y squared. Negative 4 times positive 2 is negative 8. Y squared times y squared, add the exponents, so 2 plus 2 is 4, so y to the fourth. Then again, negative 4y squared times negative 4y. Negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. Y squared times y, again add the exponents, so 2 plus 1 is 3, so y to the third. And then final term, negative 4y squared times positive 8. So negative 4 times positive 8 is negative 32. And then y squared, nothing to multiply or combine that with, so that just stays as y squared. Now again, remember we want to check and see if it's descending exponent order. 5, 4, 3, 2. So it is, so that is the final answer. All right, well, if you have any additional questions on how this works, please let me know. Otherwise, you should have what you need to continue on. Just a couple of notes that you might want to just make sure you recognize. Anytime you're multiplying a polynomial by a monomial, right, you should end up with the same amount of terms that you had inside the parentheses. For instance, on example A, we had 2 terms inside the parentheses, and our answer ended with 2 terms. Same thing here, 4 terms inside the parentheses, our answer had 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So just a little hint to make sure that you're doing it correctly. Also, don't forget your product of powers rule. Okay, again, you've got what you need to continue on, so move on to lesson number 12.